Pope Alexander VI was born in the province of Valencia, Spain in 1431. He was the son of Joffre de Borgia and his wife Isabel de Borgia. He was educated in canon law and theology and entered the church at a young age, becoming a cardinal in 1456. He was known for his intelligence, political savvy, and ability to navigate the complex political landscape of Renaissance Italy. Throughout his career, he was involved in several high-profile political and religious controversies, including the Wars of the Roses, the Pazzi conspiracy, and the French invasion of Italy. Despite these controversies, he was able to maintain his position as Pope for over 11 years and made significant changes to the Church, including the issuance of the bull Inter Caetera, which established the authority of the papacy over the New World. Pope Alexander VI became Pope through the election process known as the conclave. Conclaves were held to select a new Pope after the death or resignation of a previous Pope, and were attended by the College of Cardinals, who were the highest-ranking members of the Catholic Church after the Pope. The election process was often heavily influenced by political considerations, and in the case of Pope Alexander VI, it is believed that he was able to secure the election through a combination of political maneuvering and bribery. Despite his controversial reputation, Pope Alexander VI was able to maintain his position as Pope for over 11 years and played a significant role in the politics of Renaissance Italy. Pope Alexander VI was one of the most scandal-ridden popes in the history of the Catholic Church, and his reign was marked by numerous controversies and allegations of corruption and impropriety, and some of the most notable scandals that surrounded him. The scandals that surrounded him included nepotism. Pope Alexander VI was accused of favoring his family members in the awarding of church offices and positions, a practice known as nepotism. He appointed several of his relatives to high-ranking positions in the church and the papal states, including making his son, Cesare Borgia, a cardinal. Simony. Pope Alexander VI was also accused of selling church offices and positions, a practice known as simony. He was believed to have accepted bribes in exchange for appointments to important positions within the church. Sexual misconduct. Pope Alexander VI was accused of numerous sexual scandals, including allegations of having multiple mistresses and fathering several illegitimate children. He was also rumored to have engaged in orgies and other immoral behavior. Corruption. Pope Alexander VI was widely regarded as one of the most corrupt popes in the history of the Church, and was accused of accepting bribes and using the papacy for personal gain. He was believed to have used his position to enrich himself and his family and to further his political agenda. Political intrigue. Pope Alexander VI was deeply involved in the political machinations of Renaissance Italy and was accused of using his position as Pope to advance his own political interests and those of his family. He was believed to have used the papacy to gain power and influence over its Italian city-states and to interfere in the affairs of other European states. These scandals, along with others, contributed to Pope Alexander VI's reputation as one of the most controversial and corrupt figures in the history of the Catholic Church. Pope Alexander VI's scandals were a major source of controversy and criticism throughout his reign, and his reputation was further tarnished by his association with his son, Cesare Borgia, who was known for his ruthless and violent tactics. Cesare was believed to have committed numerous crimes, including murder, treason, simony, and was widely regarded as a mercenary and a power-hungry individual who used his father's position to further his own interests. Pope Alexander VI's scandals also contributed to the decline of the Church's authority and influence in Europe during the Renaissance. The Church was already facing a number of challenges, including the rise of humanism and Protestant Reformation, and Pope Alexander VI's scandals only served to further undermine its credibility and reputation. In addition to these scandals, Pope Alexander VI was also criticized for his role in the colonization of the New World. He issued the bull Inter Caetera, which granted the Catholic kingdoms of Spain and Portugal the right to conquer and convert the native peoples of the Americas to Catholicism. This bull and the actions of the Spanish and Portuguese conquistadors resulted in the exploitation, enslavement, and deaths of millions of indigenous people and were a major source of controversy and criticism for centuries to come. Despite these scandals and controversies, Pope Alexander VI remained a powerful and influential figure in the Catholic Church and in Renaissance Italy, and his legacy continues to shape our understanding of the Catholic Church and its role in world history. Pope Alexander VI had many political enemies during his reign as Pope, who were opposed to his policies, his association with the Borgia family, and his use of the papacy for personal gain and political power. Some of his most notable enemies include the Colonna family. The Colonna family was a powerful and influential family in Rome, and they were hostile towards Pope Alexander VI because of his association with the Borgia family and his attempts to expand his own power and influence in the city. The conflict between the Borgia and Colonna families eventually led to a series of armed conflicts in Rome and the surrounding kingdoms. King Charles VIII of France. King Charles VIII of France was a rival of Pope Alexander VI in the politics of Renaissance Italy, and he was hostile towards the Pope because of his attempts to interfere in French affairs and his opposition to French expansion in Italy. The Orsini family. The Orsini family was another powerful family in Rome, and they were rivals of the Borgia family. Pope Alexander VI's association with the Borgia family and his attempts to expand his power and influence in the city led to conflict with the Orsini family. The Roman people. Pope Alexander VI was also unpopular among the people of Rome, who were disillusioned by his corruption, his use of the papacy for personal gain, and his association with the Borgia family. And last but not least, other Italian city-states. Pope Alexander VI attempts to expand his power and influence in Italy and to interfere in the affairs of other Italian city-states made him unpopular and resulted in conflict with other Italian powers, including Venice, Milan, and Florence. These enemies, along with others, contributed to Pope Alexander VI's reputation as one of the most controversial and unpopular figures in the history of the Catholic Church, and his legacy continues to be a source of debate and criticism among scholars, historians, and members of the Church. Pope Alexander VI's relationship with his cardinals was complicated and often contentious. On one hand, Pope Alexander VI relied on his cardinals for support and advice, and he appointed many of them to key positions in the church and the papal court. On the other hand, he was known to be a strong-willed and authoritarian pope who was not afraid to use his power to silence dissent and impose his will on the cardinals and other members of the church. Pope Alexander VI's scandals and the controversy surrounding his reign made him unpopular among many of the cardinals, who were critical of his policies and his association with the Borgia family. He was also known to use his power to bribe, intimidate, or otherwise coerce his cardinals into supporting his policies and to punish those who spoke out against him. Despite these challenges, Pope Alexander VI was able to maintain the support of a significant number of his cardinals, who were loyal to him and admired his political acumen and his skills as a leader. However, his reputation was tarnished by his association with his son, Cesare Borgia, who was widely regarded as a mercenary and a power-hungry individual who used his father's position to further his own interests. Pope Alexander VI had many cardinals who were critical of his policies, his association with the Borgia family, and his use of the papacy for personal gain and, again, political power. Some of the cardinals who were known to be his enemies or to have spoken out against him include, number 1, Cardinal Giuliano della Rovere. Cardinal della Rovere was a rival of Alexander VI for the papacy, and he was one of the most vocal critics of Pope Alexander VI's policies and his association with the Borgia family. Number 2, Cardinal Giovanni Battista Orsini. Cardinal Orsini was a member of a powerful Roman family that was opposed to Pope Alexander VI's attempts to expand his own power and influence in the city. Cardinal Ascanio Sforza. Cardinal Sforza was a powerful Italian nobleman and a rival of Pope Alexander VI in the politics of Renaissance Italy. He was critical of Pope Alexander VI's policies and his association with the Borgia family. And number 4, Cardinal Raphael Riario. Cardinal Riario was a member of a wealthy and influential Italian family, and he was critical of Pope Alexander VI's policies and his attempts to use the papacy for personal gain. These cardinals, along with others, represented the opposition to Pope Alexander VI within the Catholic Church, and their criticisms helped to contribute to the negative view of Pope Alexander VI's reign among the public and within the Church. Despite these challenges, Pope Alexander VI was able to maintain the support of a significant number of his cardinals and to continue his reign as Pope, but his legacy continues to be a source of controversy and criticism within the Catholic Church. Pope Alexander VI is a controversial figure in the history of the Catholic Church, and his legacy has been the subject of debate and criticisms for centuries. The Church recognizes Pope Alexander VI as a legitimate pope, but also acknowledges the scandals and controversies that surround his reign. Pope Alexander VI's actions, including the sale of church offices and positions, his involvement in political intrigue, and his association with his son Cesare Borgia, are widely regarded as examples of the corruption and decadence that characterized the Church in the late Middle Ages and early Renaissance. Despite this, the Catholic Church has not officially condemned Pope Alexander VI or sought to erase his legacy. Instead, it has acknowledged the challenges and controversies of his reign and emphasized the positive aspects of his papacy, including his role in the expansion of the Church and the spread of Catholicism in the New World. In recent years, the Catholic Church has taken steps to address the legacy of Pope Alexander VI and other scandals that have plagued the Church over the centuries. For example, the Church has made efforts to reform its practices and procedures and to increase transparency and accountability in its operations. Overall, Pope Alexander VI remains a complex and controversial figure in the history of the Catholic Church, and his legacy continues to elicit strong opinions and debates among scholars, historians, and members of the Church. Thank you all for watching this video, and until next time.